Welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever wondered how your body just knows when it's time to sleep, or eat, or even when to pump you full of energy to deal with a crisis? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible command center that runs the whole show, your endocrine system.
So let's start at the very beginning. Your body has two main ways of sending messages around. First, you've got the nervous system. Think of it like sending an instant message. It's electrical, and it is lightning fast. Then you have the hormonal system, which is a lot more like the postal service. It uses chemical messengers, it's a bit slower, but the effects of that message can stick around for a much longer time.
Here's a quick look at what's on the menu for this explainer. We're going to meet the body's secret messengers, the hormones. Then we'll see how they keep us in balance, what they do with a sudden sugar rush, and how they kick into gear for a fight or flight response. And finally, we'll take a look at what happens when this incredible system breaks down.
All right, let's get right into it and meet the main characters of our story today, the hormones.
So what even is a hormone? Well, you can think of it like a very specific chemical postcard. It's written and sent by a gland, it travels through your bloodstream, that's the postal service, and it's delivered to a specific target organ with a very clear instruction, telling that organ to do something, stop doing something, or change how it's doing something.
Okay, so now that we know what hormones are, let's talk about their primary mission, their number one job, keeping everything inside your body in perfect balance.
This whole balancing act has a name. It's called homeostasis. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like your home's thermostat. It's constantly working to make sure your internal conditions, everything from temperature to blood sugar, stay within a really tight, healthy range, so your cells can function at their best.
So how does your body pull off this incredible feat? It uses a really clever system called negative feedback. It's simple, really. If a level of something in your body gets too high, the system kicks in to bring it back down. And if it drops too low, the system kicks in to bring it back up. It is a constant, automatic push and pull to keep things just right.
All right, that might sound a little abstract, so let's look at a real-life example that probably affects all of us almost every day: how your body handles sugar.
So picture this. You've just polished off a delicious, sugary donut. Your blood sugar level shoots up. What on earth does your body do to handle that massive, sudden rush of sugar? Well, as you can see here, your pancreas immediately senses that spike and releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin acts like a key, unlocking the doors to your liver and muscle cells so they can pull all that extra glucose out of your blood. They then store it away for later as something called glycogen. You can think of it as your body's personal sugar savings account.
But what about the flip side? What happens if your blood sugar gets too low? Maybe you've skipped lunch. Well, this slide shows us the opposite reaction. Your pancreas sends out a different hormone. This one's called glucagon. And its job is to tell your liver, hey, we need to make a withdrawal from that sugar savings account, releasing glucose back into the blood to bring your levels right back up to normal.
And there you have it. It's this beautiful, elegant push-pull system. Insulin pulls sugar down, glucagon pushes it back up. It's a perfect example of that negative feedback we were just talking about, constantly working to keep you stable. Okay, so balance is the name of the game, most of the time. But what about when your body needs to go into full-on emergency mode? What happens when it needs to throw the rulebook out the window? Well, that's where the fight-or-flight response comes in. The hero of this story is a hormone called adrenaline. It's blasted out from your adrenal glands when you're scared or seriously stressed, and it gets your body ready for immediate, intense action. And you know, stress doesn't just mean running from a predator anymore. This ancient system fires up for a big presentation, a scary movie, or even just a really stressful email.
And the effects are instantaneous and dramatic. Your heart starts pounding, your breathing gets faster, your senses feel sharper. Your body is basically flooding your muscles and your brain with all the oxygen and sugar they could possibly need to either fight the danger or run away from it as fast as you can.
Now here is the absolute key difference. Adrenaline is not about balance. It's not about homeostasis. It's about survival. This is not a gentle feedback loop. This is a one-way all systems go ticket to high alert.
That whole balancing act with insulin and glucagon is pretty amazing, right? But what happens when that very specific system breaks down? Well, that brings us to our final section, understanding diabetes.
When that blood sugar control system fails, the result is diabetes. As you can see, it comes in two main flavors. In type 1, the pancreas just can't produce enough insulin to begin with, but in type 2, which is far more common, the pancreas is making insulin, but the body's cells have stopped listening to it. It's a condition known as insulin resistance.
Now, there's a really strong link that's been observed between type 2 diabetes and obesity, which for clinical purposes is often defined as having a body mass index, or BMI, of over 30.
So, what is the connection then? Why does having a higher body mass increase the risk of your cells deciding to ignore insulin?
Well, the research on this is pretty clear. While it's not a guarantee, of course, being overweight or obese does significantly increase a person's risk of developing that insulin resistance that leads to type 2 diabetes.
So to bring it all home, a really great way to think about your endocrine system is as a finely tuned orchestra. Every single hormone is a different instrument, and when they're all playing their part correctly and in harmony, the result is the beautiful music of a healthy, balanced body.
And that kind of leaves us with one final big question to chew on. This hormonal system of ours, it evolved over millennia for a very, very different world. So how well is this ancient system actually coping with the unique challenges of our modern lives, with its constant stress triggers and around-the-clock access to sugar? It's definitely something to think about.